or areas where the Israeli forces know there is activity of concentrating Hamas forces. That would be airstrikes. Beit Hanun is in Gaza, right? Where is it here? Beit Hanun, northern Gaza. According to the IDF, in less than 20 hours, several waves of airstrikes were launched and 800 targets were attacked. About 1,000 tons of bombs were dropped on Gaza. 50 to 60 warplanes participated in each round. In the fourth wave, 500 targets were attacked all over the Gaza Strip, including 3 attack tunnels. In total, over the course of a day and a half, 1,200 targets have been attacked in the Gaza Strip. 1,200. Among other things, 21 high-rise buildings where headquarters or senior officials were located were targeted. According to a brigadier general, there are still terrorists in the Gaza Strip. In or near the Gaza Strip. Maybe that's a bad translation. Maybe that means near. The Israeli 13th Fleet report, according to the Israeli military, killed dozens of terrorists who arrived by swimming, diving, or on boats. At the same time, the IDF is on high alert on the northern border with Lebanon and Syria. Also, the Chief of Staff and Commander of the U.S. and the Chief of Staff of Israel and the Commander of the U.S. Army have held talks several times for intelligence and operational coordination. According to him, the aircraft carrier that the U.S. is sending to the region arrives not only to project power and not only for the purposes of the military effort in Gaza because it is a war zone. So far, Israel has identified 73 soldiers who have died. According to a major general, he is not aware of any coordination between Iran and Hamas. So we're seeing reports that Iran was involved in this, unconfirmed reports. Wall Street Journal had a big story on it. But so far, Israel has not really publicly gone down that road. The Wall Street Journal said Iran helped plot attack on Israel over several weeks. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps gave the final go-ahead last Monday in Beirut. That is not something we're hearing yet from the Israeli or U.S. government. Oh, more strikes on the Reuters feed, guys. More strikes on Reuters. A lot of airstrikes going on in Gaza. Yeah, I rewound and I'm listening to some of the booms. I'm looking at like a minute or two ago on the Reuters live stream. A bunch of booms. Ongoing airstrikes. You can see a number of columns of smoke coming up from Gaza. I did want to mention again the statement that the IDF made before we came on the air. Hold on. Yeah, there's like more booms going on too. No, yeah, a number of them going on. Oh, and now you can hear a drone, I think, on the on the live stream, right? I can hear a drone on the live stream. Put it on my phone here so I could hear it a little bit. No, guys, I just go to Roy. I can't steal the Reuters stream. Can't steal their feed, but just go to Reuters Live News on YouTube and you'll find it. All right, hang on a moment. 7:18 a.m. there. 7:18 a.m. Hang on 1 second here. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. Donald Finlaw, our viewer, says, have the airports sustained any damage from rockets? I'm not aware of any significant airport damage in Israel. I haven't heard about it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I have not heard about it. Sorry, I'm going through some of the things that people have sent me. Hang on. Just checking a couple things out here. Yeah, our viewer, interestingly, Discordia Fairchild mentioned Snap Maps. There are some people posting in Gaza on Snap Maps about what they're seeing. So look at this. That's Snap Maps right there. See that? That's somebody who just recorded that on their phone. Unfortunately, I can't tell when that is. Looks like it's from today, but I don't know that for sure. My guess is it's from today. That does not look like today. That looks like maybe yesterday. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on that. Wow. Look at this report from Khan News. The IDF estimates that on Saturday between 800 and 1,000 terrorists entered Israel through about 80 gaps in the fence. They attacked 20 settlements and 11 IDF bases. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 80 gaps in the fence? What a security breakdown. That's just unbelievable. What a security breakdown. 80 gaps in the fence. They attacked 11 Israeli Defense Force bases. Yeah, our viewer artist says, how did they not see this in advance? It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. $800 to $1,000. Lowell says, no surveillance of the border either clearly. Ginger Meadows says, how could that have happened? It's really just unbelievable. It was known as being like one of like the most watched borders. Jeff Manji says this could have been prevented. Most watched borders. Hey, thanks, Duke 1962. Thank you, Jeff Manji says this could have been prevented. Thanks also to Arthur D. Thanks, Arthur D, for your support. Thank you. And also Jennifer Dill, our new member. Thanks, Jennifer. Most watched borders. I mean, that's just insane. Hey, thanks, Duke 19. Jennifer. Oh, update. Here's another update. This is from N12 News. IDF spokesman, 800 targets were attacked in the Gaza Strip. There are still 6 active centers of fighting. Some of this we've heard, some of this we haven't. In Kibbutz Kfar Aza, 7 terrorists were identified hiding in the fields, checking in a suspected tunnel shaft, I guess. In Bari, about 70 terrorists were found. Most of them were shot. The forces are conducting searches on the spot. Some of them barricaded themselves in houses in the kibbutz, some of the terrorists. 6 terrorists were identified in Yerim. 4 were identified in Kibbutz Alumim near the kibbutz. 3 terrorists were identified in Shar Negev, 4 in Nir Oz, 4 identified in Holy. The forces are in pursuit of them. The IDF says they are checking if more terrorists arrive in Israel during the night. Wow. So far, 20 settlements have been cleared. Large forces have been left on the northern border for reinforcements. 4 divisions have gone to the south. By the way, something we haven't talked about is Hamas has all these tunnels. Some of our viewers have mentioned that. We haven't really talked about it. This is from IDF. This is from the Israeli Defense Forces. Everything you need to know about Hamas's underground city of terror. Since the IDF has uncovered dozens of terror tunnels in Gaza. Hamas's tunnel network is a vast underground city with dozens of access points located throughout Gaza. Hamas uses these as weapons caches, bunkers, command centers, and a concealed transportation artery for terrorists and weapons, including rocket launchers. Some of these tunnels lead directly from Gaza to Israeli communities near the border, enabling terrorists to infiltrate, kidnap, and attack Israeli civilians. They say Hamas exploits the Palestinian population by building these tunnels beneath densely populated areas. So that is from IDF. But I don't know if any of these infiltrators, I don't know if any of them have used tunnels to come in. I just have no idea. I have no idea. But I did want to mention it. Wikipedia has a whole article, Palestinian tunnel warfare in the Gaza Strip. Hamas, the governing authority in the Gaza Strip, has constructed a sophisticated network of military tunnels since it seized control of the Strip in 2007. The tunnel system branches beneath many Gazan towns and cities. The internal tunnels have several functions. Hamas uses them to hide its arsenal of rocketry underground, to facilitate communication, to permit munition stocks to be hidden, and to conceal militants, making detection from the air difficult. The cross-border tunnels were used at various times. There have been cross-border tunnels that have been used. Anyways, you can read more about that on Wikipedia. Again, I don't know if any of these attackers came in through the tunnels. Looks like a lot of the attackers just crossed on land or in the air. More booms going on the Reuters stream. Yeah, ongoing airstrikes in Gaza. Just heard another one. A lot of Gaza airstrikes going on for the last hour or two. Hey, thanks so much, Conflict Live. Really appreciate your support. Conflict Live. Give me one moment. Real quick, I want to mention, we talked about it earlier. But I do want to mention again because I think it's so important. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream, but I think it's really important. So I do want to mention it. Oh, hold on. Joe Trusman says a resident living approximately 3 miles from the Gaza border with Israel says they can hear a massive bombardment of northern Gaza. Look, we're expecting some sort of Israeli ground operation in the coming days. Today, on Sunday, the Washington Post reported that a U.S. official told them that they expected a ground operation to begin within 24 and 48 hours. You can see here, Washington Post, U.S. officials said Sunday they expected Israel to launch a ground incursion into Gaza in the next 24 to 48 hours. And it looks like it's going to be a really big deal. I want to just go back to this statement from the Israeli Defense Forces. And I'm going to just focus on what they said. We talked about this a lot at the start of the stream, but I want to go back to what he said about what this new operation is going to be like. This was a statement from the Israeli Defense Forces that was posted about 5 hours ago. So give me one moment. But it sounded really serious.
Something that will take a few more hours, maybe all of the terrorists that came terrorists to Palestinians, building to building, into the Israelis have been wounded. Unfortunately, there's a pretty wounded, and will not the worst day in Israeli history.
Here. Check this out. This is the Israeli Defense Forces statement. I'm going to play some of this for you.
It is by far the worst day in Israeli history. Never before have so many Israelis been killed by one single thing, let alone enemy activity on one day. And if you're Americans and want to compare this to something in American history, then this could be a 9/11 and a Pearl Harbor wrapped into one. We're a small country with about 8-9 million Jews living here, and out of that population we've had 700 killed and 2,100 wounded. Unfortunately, and this is probably the most dominant factor that will shape the activities for the future, there is a very large amount of Israeli civilians and soldiers held inside Gaza.
Now, something else I didn't point out before, and I think it's important. He says this is the most dominant factor, probably the most dominant factor that will shape things for the future. So the fact that there are these hostages is a really big deal. So I don't know if that means they're going to conduct an operation to try to first get the hostages back, right? Because as you'll hear, he's going to say how they have very ambitious military goals for this upcoming war. But he also says it's going to be the dominant factor that shapes things for the near future. So how can that be the case? Because it sounded kind of, because if they're going to restrain themselves, my point is they have these very ambitious goals you're going to hear about for their ground operation and their war. But if they're going to be restraining themselves because there's hostages, that doesn't really go along with achieving their very ambitious goals. So I don't know, maybe they're going to first try to get the hostages back. I don't know. But it's interesting that he emphasizes that.
And this is probably the most dominant factor that will shape the activities for the future. There is a very large amount of Israeli civilians and soldiers held inside Gaza. And that number, I think in the coming days will be revealed officially, but at this time I can only say that we are talking about many, many Israelis. Israelis who were forcefully taken from Israel, women, children, infants, elderly, and even disabled people. And I've seen stories of a grandma, Holocaust survivor, who was taken across the border from Israel to Gaza by Hamas militants with two toddlers behind her in a special vehicle. That is the extent of the brutality, the cynicism, and the monsters that we are facing. We have amassed around 100,000 reserve troops who are currently in southern Israel, preparing to execute the task that the Israeli government has designated the IDF to do. Our job is to make sure that at the end of this war, Hamas will no longer have any military capabilities to threaten Israeli civilians with. And in addition to that, we are also to make sure that Hamas will not be able to govern the Gaza Strip.
Guys, that's enormous. As I said before, that is enormous. He just said our job is to make sure that, one, Hamas, which runs Gaza, no longer has military capabilities to threaten Israelis. How are they going to do that? Hamas no longer has any military capabilities to threaten Israelis. So take all their rockets, all their weaponry, all their fighters, and also he says our job is to make sure Hamas will no longer be able to run Gaza. I mean, Gaza is not part of Israel. So, yeah, regime changes, MD says. How does that work? Because Israel doesn't run Gaza, right? Gaza citizens elected Hamas to run Gaza back in the mid-2000s. So this is a huge undertaking. This is what and he's saying this is what our job is. It's just an enormous undertaking. Lithrone says, bold statement. So this looks like it's going to be just an enormous operation. Let me go back and play that again. It's just striking to hear him say this.
As designated the IDF to do. As designated, we've amassed around 100,000 reserve troops who are currently in southern Israel, preparing to execute the task that the Israeli government has designated the IDF to do. Our job is to make sure that at the end of this war, Hamas will no longer have any military capabilities to threaten Israeli civilians with. And in addition to that, we are also to make sure that Hamas will not be able to govern the Gaza Strip. Because you see, the situation today is fundamentally different than what it was 2 days ago. And at the end of this war, we will change the situation for the better around our border in Gaza, and it will be much better for Israeli civilians, and it will be better for the Palestinians as well.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds like really big. Some of our viewers are saying like they're going to occupy Gaza again. Israel occupied Gaza for about 25 years, I think from around 1967 to 1994. And then they had some forces in there for longer than that, until like the mid-2000s. I mean, he's talking about we're going to make changes there. Hamas is not going to be able to run Gaza anymore. Hamas is not going to have any capability of militarily threatening Israelis. I don't know. It sounds like they're talking about doing something very, very big. I mean, maybe Israel, after this attack, just said, like, we can't have the... Well, clearly, he said 2 days ago the situation changed. So clearly they've decided on undertaking some big thing to greatly change the situation. Now, you have 2 million plus people living in Gaza who are no fans of Israel. So that's certainly a complicating factor. Sinan says the Palestinians there want Hamas gone. I don't know the exact view of everybody there. in Gaza. I'm pretty confident in thinking, though, that the average person in Gaza doesn't necessarily want Israel to say, we're going to choose who rules you. That's my thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I would think when people in Gaza hear Israel saying, we're not going to let Hamas rule over you, I would think that probably gets a lot of people upset. I mean, Hamas is the one. They are the ones who rule over Gaza. Now, maybe, economically, things are really bad in Gaza. They've been bad for decades in Gaza. Decades and decades and decades. A big part of why they're bad there is this Israeli blockade that's been on Gaza ever since Hamas took power in Gaza. I don't know if Israel has some plan to do some sort of occupation of Gaza and try to make the economy better. That's 2 million people, though, who are not going to be, I would think, largely are going to be unsympathetic to Israel. My guess, I'm no expert on the region. My guess is that it's not going to be like, hey, we're going to take control of Gaza and all the 2 million people who live in Gaza, all the 2 million Palestinian refugees in Gaza are going to happily be part of Israel now. I have a hard time believing that. I mean, Gaza has been the site of numerous large rebellions and uprisings against Israel. So, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. But I don't know. I mean, to say we're going to make it that Hamas never runs the place again. I'll keep going here, but I mean, clearly this is a huge deal. Big boom on the Reuters stream, somebody said. Yeah, that's been going on. A lot of airstrikes the last couple hours.
I think in the coming days will be revealed officially, but at this time I can only say women, children, infants, the extent of the brutality, the cynicism, and the monsters that we are facing. We have amassed around 100,000 reserve troops who are currently in southern Israel preparing to execute the task that the Israeli government has designated the IDF to do. Our job is to make sure that at the end of this war, Hamas will no longer have any military capabilities to threaten Israeli civilians with. And in addition to that, we are also to make sure that Hamas will not be able to govern the Gaza Strip. Because you see, the situation today is fundamentally different than what it was 2 days ago. And at the end of this war, we will change the situation for the better around our border in Gaza, and it will be much better for Israeli civilians, and it will be better for the Palestinians as well.
We will change the situation around our border in Gaza. That's what he said. We'll change the situation. A lot of smoke on the Reuters stream right now. I guess there was another. Look, there's been ongoing the last couple hours in Gaza. A lot of airstrikes going on. He said we're going to change the situation on our border. What does that mean? Change the situation. All right, let me keep going with this. So let me just play you a little more of this.
But that is yet to come. That is in the future. And as of now, we are focusing on burying the dead, grieving with the families, rallying our troops, preparing ourselves for the military tasks to come, and focusing on what needs to be done with Hamas after their unprovoked barbaric attack against Israel. I hope that you find this information useful. If you do, follow us and make sure that you get our notifications and information. And if you like it, share it with others and retweet it. Make sure that...
I want to find the part where he says it's going to be long, difficult, and gruesome.
If you agree with the information, the truth that we are information that suggests, and you will have the end of which I'm sure that we will prevail. Difficult, up for what's right and stand up for Israel. We're in for a long, difficult, and gruesome task, at the end of which I'm sure that we will prevail. Despite how difficult these first days have been and how horrible we start this war, Israel has proven time and again to all of our enemies, whether it was in the past armed gangs of Arabs and then nation states, and now non-state actors, terrorist organizations, to all of them, they have tried to annihilate us, and all of them have failed. So shall Hamas, and so shall anyone else attempting to do that to us.
The focus is really on Hamas. They're not even talking about Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which is a smaller group in Gaza, which also they said they have over 30 hostages and they participate in this attack. The language, it's really about Hamas. That's the focus of Hamas. Doesn't mention Iran. They just talk about Hamas. So, look, this is going to be a big deal. This is going to be a really big deal if they're really planning on doing what they say they're doing. Sounds like a huge deal. So this could be in the coming days. This could start. Quick thanks to Joe. Thanks for your support, Joe. Thanks for your support, Robin M, who said, "Is it possible there were defectors within Israel's own army that helped the attack? The things seem so planned without Hamas getting help." Yeah, I can't tell you. Clearly, I don't know how this was such a security breakdown, but it's just shocking that about 1,000 Gaza fighters were able to storm across the border. Just crazy. Thanks also to Joseph Fiorentino. Joseph says, any news on U.S. special ops helping with hostage rescues and counterterrorism operations? I know that Israeli and U.S. military are in contact with each other. I can't speak to any kind of stuff like that, special ops and all that. I'm sure Israel has lots of special ops forces, but as to what particular aid U.S. might be giving Israel, that I don't know. I haven't heard any news on it, put it that way. Look, there, and as I said though, there's very ambitious goals for this military operation, like prevent Hamas from ever being able to rule Gaza again. But he also said that the dominant factor for the near future, I think he said, is that there's hostages. So makes me think maybe they're going to try to get the hostages back first. Because clearly Israel is incredibly concerned with these hostages. So I don't see how they conduct this big military operation with these huge goals, but also keep the hostages in mind if they're going to keep the huge goals, unless maybe they try to get the hostages first. I don't know. So, thank you again, Joseph Fiorentino. Thank you, Joseph. Lots of arms fire on Reuters stream, someone said. All right, here's what we need to do. So, we've been on the air tonight about 4.5 hours. I didn't really eat before I came on the air. So what we're going to do is this. Here's my plan. We're going to keep the stream going. I'm going to keep covering this. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take maybe 2-3 minutes and I'm going to get some food cooking. Then I'm going to come back. Then we're going to do some more coverage. Then I'm going to take a little bit of a longer break and actually eat the food. And then once I eat the food, I'll be able to go for a while because I haven't eaten. So what I need right now to do is take maybe 2-3 minutes, get some food, starting to prepare, and then I'll come right back. And then, no, I won't be eating on stream. That doesn't really work. But I'll have, and then when the food's done, I'll go eat it. Let's do that. Okay? So I'm only taking about a 2 or 3 minute break right now. And then, but I got to eat something. I wish I didn't have to eat, but it's not going to be a good situation if I don't. Hopefully it'll be less than 5. So let me say, hopefully it'll be less than this. I'm literally just going right now. Got to fill up the water bottle. I got to put the food on. And then I'm going to come right back. And then we'll talk some more. And then when it's ready, I'll go eat. So give me 5 minutes or less. 5 minutes or less. I'm coming right back. I'll leave the chat open. Big thanks to all of our moderators. Really appreciate all of our moderators who are there. Give me about 5 minutes or less. I'll be right back and we'll continue our live coverage. I was muted. I was muted. Now we're back. So we're back here live. Thanks for your patience. It is about 8 a.m. Israel time. It is 8 a.m. Israel and Gaza time. We are bringing you live coverage. I am cooking some food right now. So in a few minutes, I am going to go eat my food. But then after I eat my food, the reason I'm going to eat my food is because I'm planning on doing a bunch more coverage after I eat. So again, the plan is to just stay on for a while, bring you updates as we get into Monday in Israel and Gaza and let you know what's going on. So that's the plan. Do some more coverage here. When the food's ready, I'll eat it. Then I'll come back and we'll do a bunch more coverage. Let me quickly thank our moderators because they are so awesome. Very much appreciate them being here at this, what hour is it? 3 a.m. 7 is moderating, and Carms is moderating, and DJC Mobile Tech. Thank you so much. And Cynthia Moon. Also, we got Bastion Girl Idaho Star, Papa Bear, Sharon C54, and That Mod Sarah over there on Twitch. Thank you. Thanks Dominar Draco for resubscribing on Twitch, by the way. Thanks Jason Park 85 for the bits. Thanks 3D Printer Decks for your support on Twitch. Husar 83, thanks for your support on Twitch. Potato Turtle, thanks for your support on Twitch. Coho Warren, Consistent Mike, thank you. And also I want to thank our Facebook mods too. Hold on a second. Thank you, Facebook moderators. Kay Lowry Body's been there. Margaret Riley. Valerie Gail Griffin. I know Bud Green was there, so really appreciate all of our moderators. And a quick thanks to Kay Paquette, who says Israel needs the USA to relate Pearl Harbor and 9/11 equivalents is a major talking point across multiple interviews, they are saying. The end of those conflicts was very big booms in a multi-decade war. Well, it certainly looks like a major Israeli ground operation is going to be taking place soon. Washington Post said U.S. officials told them they expected it between 24 and 48 hours. Oh, hang on a second. What am I hearing? Okay. All right, let me do a check here and just, I periodically need to, the Israeli Air Force is, what they're doing now is they sometimes do this. They talk about buildings they've destroyed in Gaza. An operational asset used by the terrorist organization Hamas located in the heart of a mosque in the Balbalia area. These are buildings that I think they've destroyed. Military headquarters of the terrorist organization Hamas in a house of a Hamas official. Operational headquarters used by the terrorist organization Hamas. So they're showing you some different buildings they have destroyed and explaining why they're destroying them. See here if I have other updates for you. Hasn't been many big news updates in the last hour. Well, hold on. In case you didn't see this, this was crazy from Khan News. The IDF estimates on Saturday between 800 and 1,000 terrorists entered Israel through approximately 80 gaps in the fence. They attacked 20 settlements and 11 IDF bases. Just crazy. Oh, give me 1 second here. Guys, give me like 20 seconds. I need about 20 seconds. Back in 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. We are back. So I expect, given that it's 8:06 a.m. In Israel and Gaza, as the hours go on, we'll probably get a bunch more news coming in and more updates now that we're into the day there. I'll be checking a lot of sources. Hang on a moment here. And I know people are messaging me, and I'll be checking your comments. We'll be reading your comments. John Turpin says a lot of people live in high rises over in Israel. That would have to be absolutely terrifying to look out your balcony and see explosions happen around you. And obviously people living high rises in Gaza as well. Thanks, John, for writing in. Tomer says on Channel 13 News, they're covering in Sderot, saying the military in Sderot is still going after terrorists there. There are several places, a number of places in Israel where the armed forces are still looking for the intruders. Oh, hold on a second here. Hang on. Yeah, this is a report from N12. We showed you this before. I believe this is from the Israeli Defense Force. Combat around Gaza Strip. There are 6 places where combat is still going on. In Gaza Village, I forget what that's called. I don't know if that's Kfar Aza. 7 terrorists were inside a kibbutz. A suspected tunnel shaft was investigated. There were about 7 terrorists who infiltrated Bari. Most of them were killed overnight, according to this report. 6 were identified in Yerim, 4 were identified in Alumi near the kibbutz, 3 in Shar HaNegev, and 4 in Ben Yair Oz. 4 terrorists were also identified in Holit, and a pursuit is underway for them. So again, Israel is still trying to track down these intruders in Israel. That is ongoing. Francois Joseph L. sent me this. I believe this was a Israeli military official who said this. IDF spokesperson. Anna Arenheim, who's a journalist in Israel, says, big statement by this IDF spokesperson. We are cooperating with the U.S. military in terms of intelligence and operations. Iran sees this, and if we see attempts by Iranian proxies to act, it may lead to an American attack. Well, we'll see what happens here. Obviously, Iran or the U.S. being directly involved in a conflict would be an enormous deal. So that's not happening at this point. We'll have to see what happens here. Be a huge deal if Hezbollah, which Iran supports, gets into it. They are based in Lebanon. So right now, that's all speculation. We'll just have to see what happens. Thanks, IndyCar. Really appreciate your support. IndyCar, thank you, IndyCar. Also, thank you to Duke1962. Thanks for your support, Duke1962. Appreciate your support. And a quick thank you to, Duster Singer. Hey, thanks so much, Duster Singer over there on Facebook. Really appreciate that, Duster Singer. Thank you. One of our subscribers there on Facebook. Thank you. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. So I told you the plan. I'm hearing beeping. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, Israel Air Force says that overnight they struck over 500 Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad targets in the Gaza Strip. That gives you there's intense airstrikes, over 500 targets hit overnight by the Israeli Air Force. Oh, thank you so much, Jeff Manji, as well. Thank you, Jeff, for all your support. Very much appreciated. So here's what we're going to do, guys. As I mentioned, we've been on the air about almost 5 hours. We're going to do a lot more coverage. I haven't eaten. So in about a minute, I'm going to go eat my meal. And once I eat my meal, I should be good to go for a bunch more coverage. So that is my plan. So I'm going to put on the screen taking a meal break, be back in a few. So as soon as I finish, I will come back, but I got to eat. So stream's going to be keep going. You can hang out in the chat if you want. And again, my plan is once I eat, I should be good to go for a while. So I'll go eat, get some food, take a little while to eat, and then I'll come back and we'll be streaming a bunch when I come back. Okay, so thank you for sticking around. And we'll have, again, stream's going to continue, but I'm going to take a little break right now to eat, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
لا تزال مستمرة، وهناك يبدو عدد من القتلى بين الفلسطينيين جنب هذا القصف المستمر. نحن حتى تقدم إلى وزارة الصحة والتي أعلنت حالة الطوارئ وطلبت المواطنين الذين يتمكنون من الذهاب إلى المشافي التبرع بالدم، وهذه إشارة أن هناك عدد كبير من القتلى والمصابين جراء الغارات الإسرائيلية التي بدأت قبل قليل. وهناك أيضا يعني حتى يبدو وقوف في عملية إطلاق القذائف الصاروخية من غزة خلال الساعة الماضية. هناك يعني توقف ربما، وهناك إعادة لتكتيب الأوراق ربما من قبل حماس والفصائل، ولكن يعني من المؤكد أن هناك عدد من المسلحين التابعين لكتاب القسام لا يزالون يتواجدون داخل المدن والبلدات الإسرائيلية، وتحديدا في سديروت ونحر عوز وبالقرب من منطقة بيتيفور. ونحن نسمع إطلاق النار الذي يحدث الآن وعمليات الاشتباك ما بين القوات الإسرائيلية والمسلحين الفلسطينيين. أشار زميل مهند إلى الصور التي تبث. نحن شاهدنا أيضا العديد من المقاطع المصورة. هناك يبدو أن عائلة إسرائيلية كاملة تم جلبها إلى قطاع غزة، وهذا ظهر في بعض المقاطع التي بثتها منصات حركة حماس. وأيضا هناك بعض الجنود الأحياء والقتلى من الذين تم وصولهم بالفعل إلى قطاع غزة، وتقول حماس بإنجازهم لا يعرف أين. وبالتالي الطيران الحربي الإسرائيلي يبدو أنه يقوم بتركيز ضرباته بشكل محدد في مناطق الحدود حتى الآن، وذلك ربما خشية من استهداف إسرائيليين أو جنود يتواجدون في غزة في مناطق ربما قريبة من بعض المواقع العسكرية أو الأمنية أو المدنية التابعة لحماس داخل قطاع غزة. هناك حمدان نزوح لآلاف العائلات من المناطق الشرقية والشمالية
All right, everybody, we are back. I appreciate your patience. All right, we want to start bringing you more live updates on what is going on. Welcome back to our coverage. I just saw something. I-24 News English, Israeli news outlet, says the Israeli Defense Forces say they have that over 400 terrorists have been killed by airstrikes in Gaza. Hundreds more killed or captured inside Israel. So, I didn't realize that they were targeting so many human targets in these airstrikes. Oh, it looks like there was another one on Reuters recently. I'm seeing a big cloud there. So, I mean, I knew there was a ton of airstrikes going on, but it looks like a lot of the airstrikes might be targeting people. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the Reuters stream. Hang on a moment. So it is something to keep in mind. KGP says it hasn't stopped since you left. Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for hours. Look, Israel said that they hit over 500 targets overnight. So they have been really intense with the airstrikes. But again, they say they killed over 400 terrorists, which suggests to me that some of these strikes are like targeting people. So that I noticed. One of our viewers just mentioned Sderot. Yeah, we've been talking about Sderot for a few hours now. So I guess people in Sderot, Israel, are still being told to stay inside. There was a report of firefight going on in Sderot between intruders and Israeli forces several hours ago. It looks like the situation is still going on there. And then here, look, N12 News just posted 8 minutes ago. The exit toward Sderot, the exit toward the Shar HaNegev intersection is blocked due to an exchange of fire in the area. Again, that's near Gaza in Israel. This is also interesting from Kan News. I think I heard another report about this, but it's of a person being officially informed by the Israeli government that their relative has been kidnapped. Kan News says Sasha, who was looking for her sister, told Kan News about the message she received at midnight. Her sister is missing. She says, I heard a knock on the door and jumped. It was 12 at night. I saw 3 people in senior ranks. I woke up the parents and they gave us an official message that my sister is being held by a terrorist organization. So I guess the Israeli government is informing people officially that if they know that their relative has been kidnapped. So that's from Khan News. Thanks to Conflict Live for your support. Thank you to JJ for your support. And Jeff Manji, thanks for your support. Uh, 15 minutes ago, Walla News says, as of this hour, there are 4 open hotspots where Israeli military forces are scanning or engaging in exchanges of fire with terrorists. 4 open hotspots. You know, about 5 hours ago, the Israeli Defense Force said that they thought it would be several hours or possibly longer to rid Israeli territory of these intruders. Excuse me. Interesting. You know, look, there's been some reporting, including a big story in the Wall Street Journal, saying that Iran played a big role, a major role in planning this operation, planning the attack. A number of experts have said they thought Iran was involved because of the sophistication of the attack that was carried out. Now, here's another statement from Israel denying involvement. IDF spokesman, 8:29 a.m., but a half an hour ago, Walla News. An IDF spokesman, Daniel Hagari, said this morning the IDF has no indication of Iran's involvement in Hamas's surprise attack in Israel. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, or if Israel just doesn't want to say it publicly because they don't want to get into it directly with Iran. So even if Israel did have knowledge of it, I don't know that they'd want to say it publicly. I was just reading an article about how, I can't remember where the article was, but talking about how with Iran, if Israel carries out like a targeted assassination on somebody Iranian, they will frequently deny that Israel was involved because they don't want pressure to directly strike back on Israel. But what this tells me is that for now, Israel doesn't want to be dealing with, striking at Iran directly. The big focus of Israel is Hamas, the group, the Palestinian militant group that runs Gaza. Thank you, Jordan B., who says, guessing there are only a handful of companies that make paragliders. Any news about what brand was used? Yeah, I don't know if those were branded paragliders that were used or they were just I don't know if that's something that people like put together like hot rods. I don't know if those are, again, something that some company manufactures or you just assemble out of other things. I honestly don't know. I know nothing about it, but the ones I saw certainly didn't look like super fancy, those motorized glider things, but I don't know. Jordan B. Hunt Beer says there are kits for them. I haven't read anything about it. If I hear anything big about that, I'll let you know, Jordan B. Thank you, Jordan B. I appreciate it. Let's see here. It is 9:03 a.m. Israel and Gaza time. Yeah, it's an interesting question about where all those came from and their use of them and everything. I just haven't heard anything about it. Let's see here. This is some analysis from The Economist's Greg Carlstrom, who is a Middle Eastern correspondent with The Economist. I want to show you what he has to say. He just posted something. He said, quick thread on this Wall Street Journal piece. The Wall Street Journal reported that, we showed you this before, they claim that Iran helped plot the attack on Israel over several weeks and that the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran gave the final go-ahead last Monday in Beirut. Greg Carlstrom from The Economist says, these claims are being used to support a narrative that is thus far unsubstantiated. Let's state from the outset, of course there was some Iranian role in this attack. Iran finances Hamas and Islamic Jihad, another group in Gaza, smuggles weapons to Gaza and provides technical help for building rockets and drones. To say Iran was not involved at all is just propaganda. That said, Iran and its proxies are keen to promote another bit of propaganda. They call it unity of the arenas, the idea that an array of militant groups in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, and Syria will continue to fight Israel. Unity can be a bit elusive on the ground. Even Hamas and Islamic Jihad, the two main groups in Gaza, do not always work well together. Hezbollah has a different constituency and a different set of considerations, but the narrative of a united front serves their interests. Turning to the Wall Street Journal piece, every Israeli I've spoken to over the past 48 hours believes this attack was planned over many months. The Wall Street Journal's sources say Iranian officers intended to leave for several weeks. In other words, the planning almost certainly predates their involvement. The Wall Street Journal sources also claim that Hossein Amir Abdolhain attended at least two of the meetings. It strains credibility a bit to think that Iran's foreign minister, an apparatchik and the target of much shooting, would be brought in to plan in a highly secret military operation. This stuff may seem academic, but there is a narrative taking hold. The Wall Street Journal piece proves Iran ordered and planned the attack. It doesn't prove that or even really assert that, nor does other credible reporting, and perhaps we should be cautious about taking Hamas at face value. There was almost certainly some coordination within the resistant axis. Hamas would not have launched an attack of this magnitude without alerting its partners. But coordination is not the same thing as Iran giving Hamas an order to go launch a mass attack on Israel. And to emphasize this again, just because Hamas and Hezbollah claim something does not make it true. Remarkable how the same people who say Iran's regime lies all the time, which it does, are willing to accept claims from Iran and its allies when they fit the right narrative. So that's an interesting thread from Greg Carlstrom. He thinks that Iran was certainly involved in some sense. He doesn't think Iran ordered this attack. Interesting thoughts from Greg Carlstrom. Our viewer Poot thinks that Hamas did not need Iran to come up with this idea. Oh, hostage incident. Hey, Moshe Schwartz saw this from N12 News. Look at this, guys. Suspicion of a hostage incident in Sderot. So we've been hearing for hours about exchange of gunfire, possible terrorists in Sderot, Israel. Now we're hearing suspicion of a hostage incident in Sderot. That's Israel. That's near Gaza. That's from N12 News. Let's see if I can get more on that. Look, right here, new update from 20 minutes ago. An encounter, N12 News, an encounter with terrorists in Sderot. They were eliminated by the forces. 4 terrorists were killed in Sderot in an encounter at the Negev Gate. So that's from 20 minutes ago. But now there might be a hostage situation in Sderot. Update here, new report from GLZ Radio. I don't know if that's new, actually. I've been hearing this kind of thing for a couple hours. Clash between Israeli forces and terrorists near Sderot. Residents are asked to shut themselves in their homes. I don't know if that's new. It's a new report from GLZ Radio. I don't know if it's a new clash or just a continuous, a reiteration of a previous clash, or a previous report about a clash. I don't know. But again, N12 says suspicion of a hostage incident in Sderot, Israel. So we'll see if we hear more about that. Thanks, Mark Crayman and Ben Foster. Ben, I have not heard anything about those reports. Ben is asking about some report that the Taliban asked for passage through Iran to fight Israel. I know nothing about it. I can tell you this. The New York Post had an article, Taliban Hezbollah could join current Palestinian war on Israel. Top U.S. foreign official, politician, other Mideast terror groups such as the Taliban and Hezbollah may join the current Palestinian attack on Israel, warned House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul on Sunday. He says, I've seen indications the Taliban wants to come to liberate Jerusalem to fight the Zionists. That's very concerning, he told CNN. I know nothing about this. I can't really comment anymore about this because I don't know anything about it. I'll keep an eye out, Ben Foster. Thanks for mentioning it. Thanks also, Sheep Duckling Cow You. Thank you. Have not seen anything more about a possible hostage situation in Sderot. I don't have an update for you on that. I've seen this report. I-24 News English, Thai Foreign Ministry says 12 of its citizens were killed, 8 wounded, and 11 kidnapped in the Hamas attack in southern Israel. You know, last night there was some incursion of like 70 terrorists, Israel said. Look at this. This was overnight. I-24 News. I've seen this reported a lot of places. Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson says overnight about 70 terrorists infiltrated Kibbutz Be'eri, and after an exchange of fire, most of them were killed. So, where did these 70 people come from? Are there still intruders coming over the border or coming through tunnels or what? Or were these people who were hiding out somewhere for a couple days? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. If how secure is the border secure? You know, do they know? Do they know where any tunnels might be, where people might be coming through tunnels? Hamas has a lot of tunnels. I don't know. I don't know if Israel yet has a handle on preventing more people from coming in the country from Gaza. Live Life thinks they're still coming in. Again, I just don't know. It's 9:15 a.m. You can reach me on Twitter/X at Lookner. Oh, a new rocket alert, by the way. I just got a new rocket alert on my phone. Mivtakim Amios Yesha. Mivtakim is here. And Yesha. And Amios. All these three places. So rocket alert in southern Israel near southern Gaza. Here. Rocket sirens going off. That is happening now. So still rockets being fired. Oh, this is interesting. So, hey, I want to show you something. This account called IntelliNews on Telegram, which has a bunch of Israeli news. This is what they say on IntelliNews. They just had an update. I'll have to see if I can find this anywhere else. They say In Sderot, Israel, there is a report under investigation about hostages. Sderot municipality spokeswoman: "We are not aware of an incident with hostages in the city. Please rely on official information only." Yaron Sasson, spokesman for the municipality. So, for whatever that's worth, I'll let you know if I hear anything more. What is this? Yeah, this other Israeli news telegram called News from the Field, they have the same statement from the Sderot municipality spokesperson, which says, "We are not aware of an incident with hostages in the city." They also report, they just posted this 10 minutes ago. They say, "A short time ago, another incident of an encounter with terrorists near the city of Sderot. In the incident, 2 terrorists were killed. There are casualties to the security forces." Again, I can't confirm that. That's unconfirmed right now. And N12 News says residents of Sderot, Israel, have been closing themselves off from the protected areas since 9 p.m. last night. So high alert for hours now in Sderot. That's up here. About 30,000 people live in Sderot. Not far from Gaza. Hang on one moment here. Where is this? This is a pretty crazy picture here. This was posted by Nir Hassan, who's with Haaretz newspaper. And he posted this here on Twitter/X. And what you see right there, this is that area where that rave party was, where 260 people at least got killed. And he said, "I'm back from ground zero of the Reim parking lot disaster. I believe that that's the rave, if I have this right. He says there's no words to describe the horror. Hundreds of burnt and overturned vehicles, the stench of blood, personal belongings, burnt bodies of terrorists in the photos. And he said this is a firing position in front of the parking lot. So on the down here you see all of these bullet casings. So somebody was, I guess, in front of the parking lot just sitting there and firing. But look at all of the casings there. Just a giant pile of them. Yeah, this was in Re'im, Kibbutz Re'im. Then here's another picture. I don't even want to show that one. I want to show one of the cars. Yeah, there's no bodies in this picture, but here's another picture he posted. Just all these cars overturned. I'm guessing they might have shot at people while they were driving or whatever. I mean, it's just crazy. Working with drone footage, multiple sets of satellite imagery and videos, it was possible to assemble a small idea of what happened. Content warning. That's OSINT technical. I'll see if I can. I don't want to show anything too graphic. So this is, he says, and I trust him, he says this shot was taken right in front of the Central Pavilion. Okay. He says first footage. And then he showed there's this video of people running away. He says second clear shot appears to be a bit later in one of the fields to the east of the event venue. Not 100% sure, but this may have been taken at the edge of the tree line of a few hundred meters east of the venue. Again, you can see this whole thread at OSINT Technical. Then he says this video was likely filmed in the same field. A group of abandoned stopped vehicles can be seen. Just want to make sure there's not any. I'm making sure there's not any. I can't show any bodies or anything. All right, this is not a graphic video here.
תראו, יורים באנשים, תראו. תראו לסרוטים. תראו, אנשים מקבלים יריות.
You can actually hear the gunfire. It's crazy. It's awful. And then these are some censored images that OSINT Technical has gathered these images. He said he took out like the graphic parts. He said at 9:23 a.m. Hamas militant can be seen dragging away a civilian. He says at 9:23:41 this militant executes a wounded civilian behind the silver sedan. Again, he doesn't show this in the picture here. This militant can be seen looking for additional civilians at 9:24. I'm not going to go through the whole thread, but again, if you want to see that whole thread, you can go to OSINT Technical. So he's trying to put together a timeline and a mapping of this event. At least 260 people died in that. I saw a photo that I believe is legit, which I can't show on the air, which is, I believe what the photo was a bunch of the bodies, looked like dozens of the bodies of the ravers had been taken and put like in a central room by the authorities when they were gathering the bodies. It was just horrific. Update here from channel 12, I think. Hang on a moment. Okay, Channel 12 Israel says, in Sderot, Israel, several people injured in the incident at the pool in Sderot. No hostages event going on. I don't know exactly what the pool in Sderot is. Is that a swimming pool? Let me see if I can find out more. Okay. I mean, Sderot has about 30,000 people who live there. It's near Gaza. So they say the pool in Sderot. I don't know if that's a bad translation. There's Sderot there. And I don't know who's injured. Are these civilians? Are they police injured? Are there terrorists injured? I don't know. One of our viewers says people are firing pot shots on the Reuters stream. Let me say a quick thank you to our moderators because they are awesome, and I really appreciate you being here. DJC Mobile Tech is here moderating. Thank you so much. Danny James, hey, thanks, Danny, for moderating. Thank you so much, Danny. RJ is over there. Also, we have moderating, hang on a moment, on Facebook. Oops. Excuse me, Kay Lowry Body is there. Thank you, Kay, for being there. Thanks also to our Facebook subscribers like Kay and Billy Joe Drage and Duster Singer and Melissa Terry and Louisa Green. Thank you. Thanks also to our Twitch mods. Bastion Girl, Idaho Star, Papa Bear, I Got That Fire, Sarah. Thanks so much, moderators, for being here. Thanks too to our Twitch subscribers, just to name a few. Uh, 3D Printer Decks, Dominar Draco, Potato Turtle, Moonpig, Wheelie HD, Shaggy, and others. Pie Filling, Void Cook. Thanks to our subscribers, and thanks to our YouTube members, such as, just to name a few of our YouTube members. Appreciate your support. King Loso, JV125. Barry Herman, Dark Cloud, Jack Carr, Cheryl Simpson, Bean Juice Bond, Layla Begheri, Darcy Miller, Ethereal Planet, Cheryl Simpson, Mark G, You Me, Beavis, Boss Garis, Centaurus, Ben Foster, Jeff Manji, Jason Puck, Freak One. Thank you to all of our members. It is 9:36 a.m. Israel Gaza time. What will happen today? Jerusalem Post is still down. They were getting attacked. They were getting attacked yesterday, according to them, the news site. See, more terrorists pour in from Strip. This is from Times of Israel. Fighting ongoing in Israeli Gaza border towns as more terrorists pour in from Strip. How are they getting in? Oh, Israeli forces find tunnels near Kafar Azar. 70 terrorists infiltrate Be'eri overnight, most of them killed in battle. Yes, Israeli forces have engaged in a shootout with several Hamas terrorists at a municipal swimming pool in Sderot, according to media reports. The reports say there are several Israeli casualties and the terrorists have been killed. Here's a report from Times of Israel. IDF continues to strike terrorists pouring into Israel over a damaged border. The IDF says it's continuing to strike Palestinian terrorists infiltrating into Israel through the porous Gaza border. Israel's security barrier with the Gaza Strip has been heavily damaged since Hamas launched its attack, allowing terrorists to infiltrate. The military believes there are still many terrorists in Israeli territory, and others are still trying to infiltrate. Wow. I don't think you're going to see any ground operation until they get control of all their territory, Israel. I'm going to post this. Yeah, I mean, this is over 48 hours since this attack started, and there's still many terrorists supposedly in Israel. Thanks so much, Hebrew Jerusalem boy. Sorry, Hebrew Jerusalem Prince 777.
Will soon no
Thank
longer
you.
be
Thanks for shouting out the mods. I appreciate that. Thanks also to our new member, Zeniti. Thanks, Zeniti. Billy Harris says, are other countries getting involved in this war? We'll have to see. Or if other groups get involved. We'll just have to see. There's a thought that maybe Hezbollah, which is supported by Iran in Lebanon, could get involved. That would be a huge deal. Loco Dave 3 thinks there might be sleeper cells in Israel. Could even be someone's neighbor who's a sleeper cell. That I don't know. Thanks, Loco Dave, for writing in. Hold on. Bijan says, how do you think this might change U.S. support for Ukraine? Or in the bigger picture, is this a sign of a larger destabilization globally as major powers become occupied? Yeah, so it's an interesting question if this conflict has any impact on what's going on in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia and other countries' approach to it. I don't know. I've been thinking a little bit about it, but I just don't know. I just don't know. We don't know how much other countries are going to be involved in this. Will this conflict widen? We don't know that right now. One of our viewers, Mr. Tapp, says nobody cares about Ukraine now. Well, I don't agree with that, but I mean, look, maybe a country like U.S., if this thing gets more and more involved and grows bigger, maybe the U.S., feels like they have to put more of their effort towards this and resources towards this. I don't know. It's a good question. Going forward, I don't really have a good answer for you. Jennifer Dill says, that's an interesting question. Danielle says, I don't think there's a short explanation. Apocalypse Now says, would be crazy to have two major conflicts so close to each other. Yeah, I mean, it's not that far away. There's Ukraine up here, There's Ukraine. Ukraine is about, well, it's 1,000 miles, but not that far. Same rough part of the world, not in the same rough general region of the world.